Welcome to Subramani. I keep saying this, the most taboo, second most taboo topic in Indian homes is sex, right? The first is money. I have no clue, but people don't talk about money at home. Money is a taboo talk. Money is, paisa kya hai, it doesn't matter. It is, typically in Hindi they say haath ki mail. It is just some dust lying on your hand, you just have to rub it off. That kind of talk is what people talk about money, if at all. Occasionally they may talk about some great share that they bought or some real estate that they bought 40 years ago and which has appreciated dramatically, which in an Excel sheet looks like 6%, but then when people don't understand maths, this is fine. But no, I'm digressing. One topic which is definitely taboo is inheritance, right? Children have no clue how much money parents have. Many children don't know. I know of parents on parents' death, like say one parent has died, the father was looking after all the investments, etc., and the mother was just signing wherever she had to sign. And after the father died, the children picked up and saw many fixed deposits of 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 in various companies which had gone fud. If the father had done nothing and just kept it in bank deposits and paid the taxes, he would have had much more wealth than what he actually left. There was no, the children had no problems with that, because the mother had a pension and that was enough for her. But the wealth destruction that the father had done was amazing. And when the son complained to me, I said, it's your fault, you did not even have a look at it. He said, no, I didn't want to interfere. Now that's such a stupid way to look at it, right? If your parents have money, you should know. If your parents don't have money, you should know. There are many children who have no clue whether parents have enough money for their day-to-day living or for their health care. Will they need money? They have no clue about this, right? And sounds very odd because it is your parents and you have to talk about money. Well, parents don't talk to children about money and children don't talk to parents about money. Forget involving the grandchildren. That is way far too much to expect. So what happens because of this? I know happy problems and sad problems. The happy problems have been when one man died and all the shares were with his wife, and the wife had to, the demat account had to be closed, right? The husband and wife had a demat account with all the shares in the demat account, and then when the husband died, the wife had to open a new demat account and get all the shares transferred there. So she got all the shares transferred there, and then she asked me what to do. I said, what is your intention? So she said, all my 4 children should get this money equally. I said the easiest way to do it is to open 4 demat accounts with your children as a second holder and maybe their spouses as nominees, and make sure that the shares that you own, $100 that you own, is held in 4 different folios or 4 different demat accounts in 4 different banks. Make sure that you have a bank account in all the banks where the dividend is credited, right? So this was the easiest thing to do. So she hesitated. She had no clue whether to tell the children how much money she had. Her husband had said, don't tell the children till you die. I find it very funny. And suddenly I called the children and I overruled her and I said, no problem, talk to the children. So I now decided to have some fun, and I asked the children, do you know how much each one was going to inherit? I knew the figure. The wife knew the figure, and the wife was not very old. She was only about 68, 69 years of age. Husband was about 75 when he died. The children had no clue how much money they had. They had lived life pretty frugally. When they traveled, they would travel well, but children had no clue how much they were inheriting. So I said, well, it's about 1 crore of rupees, and they were stunned that that the parents had 1 crore. Then I clarified. I said, no, it's 1 crore each. The father's portfolio is worth about 5 crores. Lot of shares which he had bought in the past, which had appreciated dramatically, which he never needed. He was comfortably living on the dividends, and really comfortably living on the dividends, and some of that money was going towards his expenses, and some of it was accumulating even in the savings bank account. So I said, the good news is this is the money, and the bad news is he has not paid taxes in the last 2-3 years, so when he was not well. So that is a problem. But other than that, children had no clue that the father had 5 crores. They used to wonder whether he has enough money for his own medical expenses, etc. Similarly, you will see cases where I have seen a case where the father decided that the house will go to the son, and the bank and mutual funds and other investments will go to the daughter. The mother had died without much of medical expenses, so that was fine, but the father had exhausted a lot of his liquid wealth. The house of course kept appreciating, so it didn't really matter, but the daughter got a much smaller amount than what the son got, because the house had appreciated and the father had removed a lot of money from the mutual funds, etc., for his expenses. He spent some money on his expenses, so the daughter got maybe half X of what the son got. I don't think it created a great fight between them, but I think, knowing the old man, I think it was unintentional. He did not realize that that his liquid wealth was getting depleted, whereas his house in which he was staying was appreciating. So I brought this up and I told the son that I think it is unintentional, that the daughter is getting much less than what you are getting. So out of his own wealth, he decided to give some gifts to his sister. Both of them were rich enough that it didn't matter. It did not create a rift or a fight between them. But it is unintentional, right? It is unintentional that the father did this. But it can happen when you are 80 years of age and you're spending, you don't realize this implication of this. So I think the most important thing I want to say in this video is, please communicate with your children about money. Children should talk to parents about money, which they do, because parents try to control how much money the child is earning, and they know all that, right? They see the bank account, they update the passbook or whatever it means, they download the statement, they may file the IT return. So the parents have a better knowledge of children's finances, especially when the children are in their 20s. But when the children are in their 50s, they don't know, the parents don't know whether the son has borrowed too much, whether the daughter has lost money in the markets. Nothing is known, right? So please communicate, because I see boys or men with a lot of debt from all over the place, and parents sitting on a lot of money lying in the savings bank account, which they don't know what to do. As a son, should you go and say, can you give me 2 lakhs, I am in trouble and I have taken a personal loan and I am unable to repay? Or should the parent offer, right? So I know one case where the parent said, why don't you get some medical treatment done? If your insurance doesn't cover it, I will cover it. These kind of offers at least you should make, and at least get the signal that the children know how much you have, where it is, how we are going to use it. If you deplete your cash flow for your expenses, how will you compensate that child who is going to inherit less, right? So it is nice to have these finance dialogues at home, whether it is asking the children for money or telling the children how much money you are going to give them, or knowing whether the child is borrowed excessively. I mean, what is the point in finding out that the child had a lot of debt after the child commits suicide? And these things happen. Parents are sitting on money, child is too shameful, does not come and ask, and then commits suicide, right? You don't want these things to happen. Suicide is of course the other extreme, but also realize that what you write in your will is very important for your real estate, but your mutual funds, insurance, bank deposits, etc. will normally go to the nominee. So if your nominee and will are at loggerheads, you're saying in the nomination you put your son and in your will you put your daughter, the bank will not know. The bank will pay the money. After that, you can take the will, go to the bank and say this is what happened. The bank is going to say, look, there was a nominee, so we paid off. The will is more important than the nominee, but if the organization does not know that a will exists, the chances are they will give all the money to the nominee. So be careful about such things, and make sure that you talk to your family about all the money that you have, all the liabilities that you have, the medical insurance that you have, all that people should know. People should know why you have it, people should know where you have it, people should know whom you are going to give it to, whether you want to give it to charity. Even while giving to charity, you have to be very careful, because some children are very judgmental, saying why should we give so much money to Gau Rakshaka? I mean, I don't think cows are more important, we'll rather give it to some girl child. When the mother says it should go towards a Brahmin child, the children argue, why this Brahmin and all, we will give it to anybody. Be careful. If you are not sure that your children will give it to the right people, start giving it away in your 80s, right? If you have, like my example, I keep saying, if you need 3 crores for retirement and you have 30 crores and you are already in your 80s, just start giving. It won't really hurt, it won't really matter. You will be able to give it to the people that you want to. So that's very important, and for that you have to discuss. Sometimes your children take a decision which may not be to your liking, but if you're dead and gone, the children can't ask why, right? So please talk to them, make a comprehensive will, make a letter along with the will saying why you're doing what, or sit and talk with them, maybe record it for posterity. Thank you.